Welcome, Mental Health Monday family. So good to have you here with us. It's been 2 weeks, but we're so glad that you are here with us this evening. Welcome, Dr. White. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Sister Tante.
Yes, we are talking all we are talking all about men's mental health, and so we are continuing that conversation. So please share this link on your social media. Invite someone you know, men and women. Women are definitely welcomed, and we are inviting you to this program because as women, we need to know how to care for the men in our lives and not just take their sometimes quietness for granted and just think that everything is okay. Learn how to check in. And we're going to start with some of that here in just a moment. How really to check in on the men in your life. That's very, very important. So please put in the chat where you're viewing from. We want to say a special welcome to all of you. Of course, Clint makes it a point to make sure that he is number one, not just on, but in the chat. He is number one. So welcome, chat. Welcome, chat. You can tell it has been a long day. Welcome, Clint from Longview, Texas. We're happy to have you here. See, Clint, you didn't even have to say Longview, Texas. I already know
We already
where you live.
that's how you
We
got it, Clint.
yes, we know. And we have others. Tell us where you're viewing from. We have Brother Tennessee. Welcome. Deborah Haling. Welcome to Mental Health Monday. And Emily, welcome. And that's Clint's wife. So welcome. Good to see
Oh,
you
nice.
here.
Hi, Emily.
Yes, good to see you. Sharon Faye, good to see you here as well. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Brother Tennessee.
Brother Tennessee. What's up, man?
Yes. You know, we have another church member in Murfreesboro too. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's
That's the
cool.
cool thing about living at a church is we can have people, members from all around the world, but there could be the same people in their local area as well. So we are so good to have everyone. We want to hear we want to see your questions as well. We're taking your questions rather, I should say. And we want to take a deeper dive into men's mental health. Wow, Dr. White, you always start the program off with a question for me, usually. And I have not pre-thought of a question for you, but I'm going to see what I can come up with. Thinking of men's mental health. Wow. Tell me, growing up as a young man, um, was it how comfortable or uncomfortable was it to express your feelings?
That's really a good question, Sister Tante. And she just did that off the cuff. You must be exceptional in therapy. Oh my goodness. That
Well,
that's
you know.
cool. And humble too.
Very humble. No, no, no. Honestly, yeah,
Oh,
I'm really curious because I find it interesting how different men and women are, and I think God designed it that way. He designed it that way. So I just find it interesting. Not that all women find it easy to express their feelings, but definitely men tend to. Let me not taint the answer. Go ahead. You
well, so I
answer.
was I was raised by a single parent mom.
Okay.
And it's I fell into a role where
Okay.
mom I was the son she enjoyed like talking to. And so to this day, so we lived in Brooklyn, New York, we lived in a
Mhm.
brownstone, and like you would kind of hang the clothing outside to dry and that kind of stuff. It's just
Right.
weird. You'd set up this clothing line, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like as long as she was going to have the door to the apartment open, I wanted to be there with her, almost as security, like little me, 7 year old.
Oh,
What am I supposed to do?
you felt like you had to protect her, of
I
course.
had to protect her. My brother, he's definitely a protector, but he goes to bed early. so,
Okay.
so his shift ends early. Like he goes to bed early. To this day, my brother goes to bed early. But so my
Good for
mom would
him.
talk to me like in that time.
Okay.
And the relationship was such that she would talk, and it conditioned me to listen. It wasn't
Mm.
really bilateral. It wasn't like as much, okay, well, let me share my stuff. Obviously, I must have shared some stuff,
Right.
but where I really grew comfortable is listening and not feeling like I
Mm.
needed to talk.
Preparing you to
So
be the mental health professional and a good husband later in life.
well, 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 and so, I mean, it's interesting because my ladies, my wife, my daughter, they're really good at making sure I'm telling them what I feel.
Mm.
So they'll talk and they'll share, but they will double back around and be like, "Well, but how do you feel? What are your thoughts?" And
Right.
so growing up, I didn't do a lot of that. I didn't I don't even know what were feelings. We grew up in the
Mm.
1980s in Brooklyn, New York, height
Mm.
of the cocaine epidemic.
Mm.
The goal was survival. Like
Wow.
the goal was survival. We were driving around the neighborhood. First of all, driving. So because we were
Mm-hmm.
so heavily reliant on public transportation back then,
Right.
your concept of the area is so warped. Like I
Mm.
thought church was like an hour and a half away because you take the bus and that's how long it would
It
take.
took to get
But when you're driving, it's like a 15-minute thing. You're just like, what? It's this
right.
close?
That's
But
funny.
it's a but like conceptually, like you're thinking that
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan is like 2-3 hours away. No, man, it's like 30 minutes away. It's like
Yeah. Wow.
um
Wow. The perception. And Nurse Florence said Dr. White is an excellent listener.
oh, she said that? Oh my
She said
goodness.
that. She's told the world that you
Props
are
to
an
you,
excellent
nurse.
listener.
Oh, that's but yeah, I mean, I gotta shout them out. They listen really well. So yeah, props
Mm-hmm.
to you, nurse. So I wasn't that comfortable divulging feeling in the long and short of it. Especially
Okay.
because things were so survivor oriented. We had
Right.
other priorities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't, yes, you couldn't, you felt like you couldn't focus on that because, and it makes sense. I'll take it further and you guys be thinking of your questions because I have a follow-up question for Dr. White.
It's my turn.
So how do you think that affected you because you were always in like, okay, survival mode that I can't worry about expressing my feelings, even though I'm having these emotions, but I can't express them or show them or feel like not like you could not. How do you think that it impacted you
You
in your
didn't
adult life?
you didn't know you had the emotions. Like they're so stuffed
Mm.
down, you
Mm-hmm.
don't even know you had the emotions.
Mm.
Like being able to say that shamed me.
It
Like you
shamed you.
don't
Mm-hmm.
you don't even realize, oh, what you're experiencing right now is shame.
Wow.
There's nobody to go talk about that with. There's no man. I feel ashamed. Hey, well, there's nobody to say. Well, tell me more about that. What
Mm-hmm.
does that mean to you? Like, there
Mm-hmm.
was nobody like that.
Mm.
It was keep it pushing and survive. That was the objective.
Keep
There
it
was
pushing.
no explore your feelings, put a label on it, gain power over it, make sure it doesn't trigger you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those that was the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was really cool getting trained in psychiatry to where now those kind of things mattered and you started seeing, okay, well, there's a way to be, you
Mm-hmm.
know, there's a way to be,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a reason these kind of things are important to give energy to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel like I do have another follow up, but let me see. I want to see. Some are saying, some are commenting, and please put your questions in. And if you guys want to answer that same question, you are more than welcome. It was for Dr. White, but I feel like you guys are commenting in the chat. Someone said it depended upon the environment I was in at the time. I was around guys and girls. If he felt comfortable enough to show his emotions, so That makes sense. That's fair enough. I do have a follow up question for you, Dr. White. I'm going to take it in a little bit deeper. So, not just being a male, but being a black male.
Ooh,
Hmm.
ooh.
How comfortable did you feel like that you could share your feelings and your emotions? Now, this is as an adult, and let's just say in the workforce.
Now you ran into the workforce.
Hmm.
So, so so in the workforce, obviously the place that I worked was a mental health,
Hmm.
space. And there was a practitioner that was in some ways a mentor, a collaborator, and there was a degree to which I could divulge, hey, this is how I'm feeling about this thing.
Hmm.
Uh, I You know what? I think I talked about this before, but the place that really cracked me open, besides obviously my relationship, the place
Hmm.
that really cracked me open, men's Bible study at Mount Rubidoux Baptist
Mm.
Church. That was the place that
You
you
felt safe.
really safety. It embodied safety. It
It,
embodied safety. Like
that is
you
wonderful.
you could you could talk, you were in this setting with very powerful men, very powerful.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, everybody doing their own thing, a diversity of walks of life, but like we all could come together and you absolutely were expected to share how you're feeling. um,
Right.
and it was grounded in scripture. So it was. So I'm a lover of men's Bible study because it just that was where it's like you really could open up.
Yes. Yeah. No, thank you for answering those questions and being so transparent. That's like that's good stuff. That means guys, get in the men's Bible study. They meet
Yeah,
on Tuesday evenings, I believe at 7 p.m. Central Time. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But you
you're right.
get to experience that as well. I know they're a very close knit group, and I know a lot of them are here. We have so many men here, and I love it. I remember when we first started Living Man at Church, we had an abundance of women. And I love us, but I went to my husband, I was like, we got to pray more men come. We need more of a balance. And God sent the men. I just absolutely just after a short amount of time, I started hearing more men and more men's voices, like in the afterglow and after, that group and the men's group started growing and just so it was just it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So we're taking your questions. We're taking your questions for Mental Health Monday this evening about men's mental health. You talked about something about the workforce, but we want to go a little bit deeper with that and talk about the stress and how work can cause so much stress for men and women, but we're focused on men's mental health here and what that
So
looks like. So if you guys have any questions about that, we're going to be taking a deeper dive. And I'm just assuming, and I have to assume because I'm not a man, the pressure. First, I think I've shared on here, and maybe I haven't shared on here. I think I did in one of our first segments. Just one day, it really hit me of all what it is to be a man and I'm not a man, but I just thought of what it must be like having the pressure of the provider,
mm,
being the provider.
you
Go ahead.
I want to double back because you asked me about being a black man, right?
Okay.
And and I think this is a good space to like just address this.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's unique about being black is how easy it is to be misunderstood. So it's
Okay.
like people will have these ideas, but they won't necessarily say them. But there'll be like this
Mm.
question in their mind. They'll be like, look, other groups come here to the US, and
Mm-hmm.
in a moment, they blend in, they're doing well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you guys do that? You got Asians who come over, you got like what is different about you? And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a genuine mystery. Like like polite company, like they won't necessarily ask you, or sometimes they might ask you, but it's like they don't know the history. They don't know, hey, no, those people went through a special kind of slavery where they weren't just burdened together as a family.
Mm-hmm.
No, their communities were ripped to shreds.
Right.
And they don't know that. Okay, and like even stuff like, well, how come you guys more lean towards Democrats today versus Republicans? But
Mm-hmm.
Republicans freed blacks. They don't know the history, but then
Mm-hmm.
yes, but then the Republicans abandoned them
Mm-hmm.
to the Jim Crow South, and that abandoning led to the Jim Crow South. So that's why you're going to see more lean towards democracy, like to the Democrats.
Democrats.
They
Mm-hmm.
they don't know we did have successful communities, okay,
Right.
that were subsequently burned to the ground, like Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, like,
Right.
they were doing, yes, the same way you guys came and you started building up communities. The only difference is your communities weren't burnt down. Um,
Absolutely.
like, you see how
Absolutely.
you guys can apply for loans. Yeah, we were redlined, and the communities we
Mm-hmm.
lived in, they were identified as, no, you're not going to get a loan.
Right.
Yeah, we went and we fought for the country. We yeah. And then
Mm-hmm.
when we came back, we didn't get the benefits of that. Like, so that history, it's just not known. And where
No,
would
it's
you learn it,
not.
by the way? Where would you learn it? So you're looking at this person and you're wondering, why aren't you as advanced as quote unquote you should be?
Mm-hmm.
And there's an answer that we don't have time to discuss. It's like we don't have time to discuss it. So you're looking at this person and you're just saying, well, I'm seeing other people who they come here, they move along, they don't make excuses, and it's just like you don't know the history. So we are a conundrum to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't understand. Um, and and when you walk into a room, all of that is behind you. All of that baggage comes in with you, but it's not talked about and it's not known. It's not even
Mm-hmm.
understood.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you further along? That's the question that
Yes.
kind of hovers over us. And we don't really get a chance to explain that.
Right. Okay. Looks like we have a question or a comment. Let's see. What makes a man a real man? Because I sometimes base it off what should I have at a certain age. Like at my age 44, I'm just now getting my credit together and I'm still living in an apartment.
What makes a man a real man? I mean, that's like if this was therapy, I'd so throw this back to you, brother Tennessee. What do you think makes a man? What is your definition of manliness? What makes a man a real man? Brother Tennessee, I would say you're in the arena. I would
Mm-hmm.
say part of being a real man is you're in the arena, you are in the struggle. It's kind of irrelevant where you are
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many things explaining why you are where you are at the time that you're there. But the thing is you're committed to the struggle. You're continuing to self-actualize, to grow to being the best aspect of yourself. You're
Mm-hmm.
in that progression to deliver to this world what you've landed here to deliver.
Right.
Uh, it's a beautiful struggle, but it is a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And and I would say a man does not surrender. And even if he surrenders for a moment, he gets back
Mm.
in because
Mm-hmm.
this is a struggle that it's not about winning or losing, it's about being in it. This is that
Right.
this is that Teddy Roosevelt speech, the man in the arena or woman,
Mm.
but
Right.
like you're in it. Like you you're bloody, you're sweaty, you know the taste of victory, you know the taste of defeat, but the one thing's for sure, um you will never, you will never have that experience where you don't know victory or defeat. You're in
Mhm.
the arena. That
Mhm.
is manhood. It's terrifying. It's
Mhm.
scary to go out and pursue your dreams. It's painful to endure the no's, and but but there's a beauty in persisting. To
Mhm.
me, that's the essence of manhood. You're in the fight.
Mhm.
Like, I think as we look at one another as men, I think that's the gentle nod. You're in it. You're fighting.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
fighting. You haven't surrendered. What do you think,
Mhm.
Tennessee? Is that helpful?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And with Brother Tennessee, I would just tack on to that and say, you're saying you're 44 years old and you're working on your credit. That's step one. If you ever want to not live in an apartment, which is perfectly fine. I have my son-in-law who's always trying to educate me on he was a business major, and so he just sharing some different and he's an entrepreneur as well, owns his own business, and he's expressing and sharing with me a lot of different things that a lot of economists are saying. Like, in our society, we put it out there, and this is not telling anyone to not buy a home. I mean, we bought our home, and I see the benefits of buying your own home for sure. Um, but it's you're being responsible. You're working on your credit, and if you ever want to one day buy a home, you'll be set up to do that. And if you decide not to, that doesn't make you any less of a man either. Um, so I would say those things that you mentioned, that I agree with Dr. White. Like, you're in the fight, you're trying to just better yourself, and you're very aware, and that makes you a man in my estimation. That you are trying to do the very best, and you're making strides to do that. That's very respectable. Like, nobody can disrespect that, or should not disrespect that.
And he followed it up with, that helps because I normally used to base it off my living situation, because I look at other men and see what they have at a younger age or even older accomplished, and here I'm just getting started. And I I have no trouble looking at the success of other men. I have no trouble with that. I draw
Mm-hmm.
inspiration from it.
Mm,
I draw inspiration. I
mhm,
first of all, I feel sincere gratitude and happiness for them, and I'm
mhm,
grateful because I'm like, "Oh, that's inspiration. Okay, that
mhm,
helps me answer the question about what that will be like." Um, so it's not discouraging at all, but, by the same token, though, the goal is really and truly move forward with your process and don't let someone else's experience paralyze you. What whether Wh- however however you experience it, make sure it fuels forward progress.
mhm,
However, whether you choose to get it, you might get upset. Look how far he is. Okay, well now work harder. Or that's awesome for him. Okay, now work harder.
mhm,
So
mhm.
either way, let it commit yourself to your struggle to where you put more energy into your forward progress.
Right. And I would say just one more thing, setting your own goals, and it doesn't have to match with anybody else's. Your goals are your goals, and you have your goals, and you put your head down and you work hard at meeting those goals. That is respectable as well.
That deserves like a pause,
Mhm.
because who says you have to do college in 4 years and then you move on to your graduate school, and
Yeah.
then maybe, I don't know, your junior year of college you met your spouse, and
Right.
then you guys, like, who says it has to unfold that way? Your
Society.
journey is your journey.
Absolutely.
Have I love that statement.
Hmm. This is a good one. Okay, Byron from New York. How do I deal with stress at work? I can't concentrate, thinking I'm comprehending something, but not coming out correctly. How should I deal with that? And how can I fix that problem?
So I heard this quote, and I might have said it here before, but it was just so dope. Um, Whatever you want, you have to embrace its opposite. Whatever you want, you have to
Mm,
embrace its opposite. What do I mean by that, Byron? What I mean by that, like, if you want to be intelligent, you have to embrace feeling stupid.
mm.
Like, when someone is teaching you something, aren't you tempted to be like, I get it, when in fact you don't?
You don't
And
get it.
why?
I
Because you don't
mhm.
want to look stupid.
Be like, I have a question, or you
You
need to
you don't want to
go
look
ahead.
stupid. But you gotta lean into being stupid. If you're honest and
Right.
you're like, no, I still don't get it. I still don't get it. And thanks to AI, guys, I'm not gonna get in trouble with my wife here, but thanks to artificial intelligence today, it's like you
You
because you're right. You don't
I know
have
what you're
to
gonna
go to
say.
that person. You don't have to go to that person and look stupid. You can take your there are other places you can take your questions. You can take your questions to YouTube and Google and other research entities. And sometimes that person might not speak in a way that you get it. My point is just, but the journey does not end there. The
Right.
journey does not end there. Thanks to neuroplasticity, okay?
Mhm.
So we have 100 billion neurons and they are neuroplastic, meaning they have the capacity to reorient their
Mhm.
connections. And sometimes
Yep.
what's happening, Byron, is your brain is in the process of reorienting itself around the concept, but we give up too soon. We give up
Right.
too soon rather than letting the
Mhm.
brain massage the idea. So, Byron, if you don't understand it, and if like it just means stay at it. If this
Mhm.
person explains it in a way and you've exhausted it, you know what? Okay, well, let me try another person or let me try
Mhm.
another entity. Let me try another
Mhm.
source. Maybe I might pop it in the chat. Maybe I pop it into YouTube. Man, there are so many YouTube scholars today.
So many,
Like,
so many. You can go to YouTube University, okay?
oh my goodness. Oh my
Even
goodness.
no, I mean, honestly, I mean, you can't really get a degree, but you can learn so much. I mean, sometimes when I have questions, I mean, it's definitely chat, and it's definitely out at YouTube, and especially like if you're wanting to do things, there's so many things you can do. YouTube, I totally believe in YouTube University. But I want to say to you, Byron, everybody comprehends and learns differently. And unfortunately, in our education system, and I know you're in a job, you're not in school, but in our education system, they want to have like this cookie cutter teaching method. So many people fall through the cracks that are so intelligent, but just were not taught in the way that they process and comprehend and learn. And I was just going to say that, sometimes some people can just hear something, somebody say at one time, hear something, and they got it. Other times people have to write things down, hear it and write it down, go over it, process it, whatever. It's all different learning techniques. And so, if you're at work, write it down. Write it down, whatever it is you're trying to, if your boss is telling you something, or whatever. And I don't know if that's your learning style. I have no idea, but I'm just saying that could be a way to help you. But I agree with Dr. White. Well, before the even writing down, ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no, and we've heard this so many times, but there's no question that is a stupid question or a dumb question. You could ask, instead of asking it like, "Oh, I didn't understand that," you could say, "Oh, could you please clarify so I make sure that I got it exactly the way you want me to do this." as a boss, I'm not a boss. Actually, I don't have employees, but I would love for even my kids when they were younger to be like, "Oh, could you clarify that? Make sure I got it right, mom." You know, people just want to know that you're excited to hear or what they were telling you to do, and to make sure that you're doing it right, so that you do a very good job. You can't go wrong, and a boss will respect that. It'll be like Byron's always trying to make sure that he gets it right, and he makes sure that he asks more questions. Again, that's respectable.
Well said, sis. Well said, sis. So we've told you what you can do. Byron, I want to tell you what not to do. Don't let the frustration lead you to give up. Okay.
Mm,
Don't let the frustration lead you to be unkind to yourself and say, okay, well, there must be something wrong with me or blah, blah, blah. Don't let it lead you to be unkind. Be kind to yourself. You know what? I just need another turn. I'm one of these
mm,
people that, but when I get it, then I get it. The other thing, and the most important of all, is don't let the frustration lead you to self-sabotaging behavior. Don't let it
absolutely.
lead you then to doom scrolling or program binging, and you know that there's work to do, or some other addiction. Because that's what'll happen sometimes with the frustration is like you get all frustrated and you're like, well,
Hmm.
I don't want to do that. Just when the brain needed one more time, it needed
Hmm.
ongoing engagement. It needed you to give it the synapses. And then what's also cool is when you get that good night of sleep. Like you
Mm,
frustrated it, you've gone at it, you've gone at it, you've gone at it. Now you get a good night of sleep and you wake up and it's like, I get it now. I get it.
right.
Because the brain has now consolidated and repackaged it,
Hmm.
facilitated the synapsing. And now, okay, now here you go. Okay, now I can do it. It
Hmm.
doesn't happen in necessarily one night, but I'm just saying harness
Hmm.
everything and don't give up.
Don't give up. Yeah, hope that helps, Byron. All right. I love this question. As a wife, how do you help your husband deal with his stress once he comes home and he withdraws from, withdraws
For
from
me,
me because he is
he's
so stressed
stressed out.
out? Great, great question. Love it that the women have shown up here as well on how to support the men in their life. This is wonderful. Um, First of all, um, giving your husband time, because giving him time to decompress coming from work, like make the coming home just a beautiful experience, if you will. Like his entry into the home is just like, you know, giving him a big hug, not demanding anything of him at not at that time. Meaning, like, give him some time to decompress, relax, and just be out of, if the workplace is a stressful place, now he knows that the home is this beautiful, relaxing, positive space that he is in, and he can just relax. That's the way you can support him. And then give him an hour, maybe an hour. Maybe some don't need that much, but an hour could help just to relax, and to make him feel he doesn't have the stress that he just was at for maybe 8 hours. And home is just this lovely, beautiful place. Not bombarding him with a whole bunch of, oh, can you do this? And you forgot to do this. And, just, I mean, you can, if you can give him if you're a massager and you like to give him a massage, rub his feet. I don't know if he's like, just tell him how much you love him and appreciate him, and just make him be so happy to come home from that stressful place.
You're saying don't encourage him to go back out? He's got such a bad experience. Is that what I'm hearing you say, Sister Tante?
Well, just make him be so excited that home is so much less stress than work. And it's just, yeah, it's just a different space. Yeah, you don't have to just like, so many times we don't think about the workplace and men, and even for women, but when they come home, it just should be a different setting. Work is going to be doing work stuff, but home should just be a lovely place.
Shout out to Nurse Florence because this is my experience, right? So kind of like
This is what she
midday.
does for you every day?
This is what she does for me most days. It's not every, but most
Okay.
days. So you get a text midway through the day. How's your day going? You know.
Oh, that's
Um,
sweet.
so now she can kind of gauge. Okay, how's your day going? And then, okay, what time? Give me an ETA.
Mm.
And so then I can text and be like, okay, well, I'm leaving work now. And so you walk in and she's got this delightful smile, right? Delightful
Yes.
smile meets me at the door, nice juicy hug. Sometimes, sometimes. Um, and when her process is dialed in, she may literally have dinner set out. She may
Oh, beautiful.
literally
And she's
have
a
it
good cook. I
set
remember
out.
the one time I came to your house.
Like, but the funny thing is that she doesn't even consider herself a good cook, but it's like
Really?
delicious stuff.
It's
It's
great.
like delicious stuff. And you know what's funny? Like, what this is hysterical. So I love my wife's attention when I'm in her presence. It's like, I don't want you focused on
Mm.
anything else. I want, it's hysterical. And so she might be looking at her phone and this is embarrassing, but I'll own it. This is so embarrassing. So be like, "Hey, what are you looking at?" "I'm looking at a recipe." It's like, so I'm jealous of the attention she's diverting because she's actually working on something for me. So props to you, Nurse Florence, and props to Alexi too, our daughter, because they'll literally be like, "Okay, do you need me to pick something up? Because I want you to be able to come directly home. I don't want you to have to stop, pick anything up."
Right.
So props, but they put serious intention into making it a wonderful experience. And when mom was cooking for me, it was the same thing. It was like, "Hey, what's your ETA? Here's what we're doing." So I mean, that's dope. I
Mhm.
would say to the prior question, T, like when things are going well and in a moment of peace, ask him ask him, what would you value? What would you value in a homecoming experience? Um, and then you can do the variances. If you're having a good day, what do you want homecoming to look like? If you're having a bad day, what do you want homecoming to look like?
Mhm.
And so really be guided by that. I have a hard time imagining that a person that a man, that a husband, spouse
Mhm.
would not feel honored that you were taking the time to not just ask what they would value in homecoming, but then also experiencing it, seeing that you actually
Mm.
acted on what they told you. That's
Mhm.
dope. That's just dope.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. Veronica said if my husband comes home to a clean house, he's in heaven.
Oh, that's
Yes,
funny.
sometimes, yeah, that's great. And what I like about what Veronica said is her just to some men. I mean, I'm sure most people do want to come home to a clean house, but to some men that doesn't matter. But she's tuned in to like know, okay, this is what he likes. So just kind of catering it to knowing what your husband likes. I think that's really good. Here it is. What is the best way to eradicate anxiety and depression due to past trauma at age 42? And I'm now 76 and it still affects me regularly remembering the past. So this is from Anthony. And Anthony, that's a great question. And it's really something, since you went through some past trauma at the age 42 and 76, that's 30 plus years. So this is really something that you should reach out to a mental health professional in your area so that you can work through it because it's going to take some time. I don't know what the trauma was, but you've been holding it. It's been affecting you for a little bit over 30 years. And so taking that time to really go through it and let a mental health professional help you with that would be the very best thing to do.
Sister Tante, why don't you pull the curtains back a little bit and share? He steps into a therapist's office, a good therapist. What's gonna happen? Like what can he anticipate to help him deal with this anxiety and this depression?
Yeah, well, if he's gonna, I mean, the first thing is always a therapist needs to hear your story and to learn your story, and that can take some time. I mean, it's easy for, I don't say it's easy, but when you come in as a client, you will start telling the story, but there's layers to a story, especially when it comes to trauma. And so just the therapist is gonna, they should make you feel very comfortable and safe to where you feel comfortable sharing the trauma, especially if you've never been to therapy before and you've never spoken to anybody about this trauma, and now you're talking to a total stranger. That can feel very scary and awkward. But a good therapist is going to make you feel very comfortable and safe, and you will be able to share your story. And then a therapist can start to just really understand your trauma and how that is exactly impacting you as a 76-year-old, and to start to work on a treatment plan to help you deal with your anxiety and your depression, and um, even begin not just to treat it, but to start the healing journey that you can start with your therapist. And that may take some time. It will take some time, but eventually, with a good therapist, and you stick with the therapist and you do the homework. I'm big on homework. You will get through it. You will get through it, but you'll feel very safe. That's the important thing. You'll feel very safe in the journey with a very good therapist.
The first therapist is usually all they need, right?
If you find, if your first therapist is good and you're feeling safe and that you feel like the alliance and the connection that you have, but that's not always the case.
It's rarely the case, right? It's
Yeah.
rarely the case. So
Mhm.
so be prepared for that.
Mhm.
The same way you didn't date one person and end up marrying them. Okay, I dated 2 and married the second one.
You married
But
the second.
yeah, I married the second. But, the same way that it takes more, it takes,
Mhm.
um it's the same way with therapists. Like, just because you have one bad experience, please don't let that sour you on the process. Give it a chance, because as a sister Tante mentioned, one of the
Mhm.
important things that happens in the beginning is rapport building. That takes
Yeah.
time. Before we even get to the interventions, it's rapport
Mhm.
building, it's connecting. But they're gonna help promote healing through helping you put labels and understand what was happening, help you
Mhm.
visualize the dynamics and better understand it, and then reframe it in a way that's going to be helpful. All of that'll happen in the therapy setting. But please don't give up because the first therapeutic experience is a bad one. Give it a second.
Yeah. Don't ever give up. I definitely encourage um people don't give up. I've actually had family members who I encourage them to go to therapy, and then they go maybe 3 or 4 times and they're like, it's not helping. They might find it. And I'm like, so find another one. There's somebody out there that it's going to work. Um, yeah. Sometimes, I mean, this specific person wanted more directive instead of indirective type of therapy where they were telling them things that they, should be doing or could possibly do. And other people just want someone to listen to them and not give them directives. So every therapist doesn't fit everybody. So I definitely agree with what you were sharing, Dr. White. So
I'm
yes, Brother Tennessee, this is interesting. He says, I have 2 therapists. One is a woman and one is a man. And I try to get perspective from both sides. So um, I don't know how ethical that is, but not from you, Brother Tennessee, but they actually train us that we should, if somebody is seeing another therapist, then we should, wait till they conclude with that, and then you could start up with them. But if the male and female therapist know that you're seeing both, then to each his own. How do I explain to my fiance what irritates me because of pet peeve as a man? When I ask her a yes or no question, I mean yes or no gives me an answer that has nothing to do with the question.
Yeah, the most earth-shattering thing that I've uncovered about relationship is there's this myth that you won't have to get irritated. There's this myth that
Mm,
you will no longer need to be uncomfortable. And if you tweak her enough, that will put an end to you getting irritated.
mm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Am I saying don't try to improve your relationship at all? That is not what I'm saying. But what I
Mm-hmm.
am saying is I cannot tell you how many people are ruining their relationship because they're not dealing with their personal irritation. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to sit with discomfort. It's so to answer your question, brother Tennessee. So first, recognize that piece, right? And then I think in moments of calm, that's where it's a great time to have these conversations. Obviously, when
Mm-hmm.
things are tense or when you are irritated, uh, those can often be difficult times to have these conversations in a way that it's productive.
Mm,
So it's in moments of calm where you can discuss, these are the things that irritate me. These are the things, and irritate sometimes is not the accurate word. Sometimes it's worth taking the time. These are some of the things that make me feel ashamed. These are some of
mm-hmm.
the things that make me feel dismissed. These are some of the things that make me angry because of this. But it's kind of cool sometimes to go one layer deeper, because I know Nurse Florence talked to me about how sometimes I just looked angry when in
Mm,
fact she could have responded to it much better if in fact she would have understood, well, actually it was that he felt hurt,
mm,
or or this embarrassed the person, or like it's different when you understand. But as men, it's like so often we project one image,
mm-hmm.
of either rage and aggression, or we become reserved and and removed, from the
Mm-hmm.
situation. And each one is irritating, but if I think it becomes a little bit more something that people can manage if they understood what was behind it or what was
Mm,
beneath it. So that would be how I would address that. But brother Tennessee, and to the world out there, like I think many of us approach marriage with the idea that I'm never going to be irritated again, or I'm going to be irritable as little as possible, or I'm never going to lust again, or this person is going to answer every single one of my needs. Guys, your person is not God. Your
amen.
person is not God. That is the only person that theoretically could address every single one of your needs.
That's an
That
answer for men and
person,
women.
what's that?
That
That
answer was for
person
men and women.
that person will address some of your needs, and they'll kill
Mm-hmm.
it with some of those needs. And they won't be able to address others, and that will challenge you then. How do you sit with the discomfort of an
Mm-hmm.
unmet need? That's where maturation takes place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking when with the way the question was posed, um, that he's just wanting a yes or no answer. And I remember seeing this meme on Facebook, and it was representing like men's thoughts, and like he wants just it was a train track that just went straight forward. It didn't turn. It was just focused. And then it showed a women's brain when they're thinking the train track was over here and it was over there and it was going all over the place. So as women, she probably thinks she's answering your question, but she just adds other things to it, and it might connect to something over here. So she goes over here and then she goes over here. So you, I would say you're right. Your person is not going to never not irritate you. They're not God. But also, as men, and this is for women too, don't expect your man or woman to think just like you or to do things just like you. I mean, this is the wonderful thing that the differences between men, I should say, sorry, men and women is that we complement each other and we do things differently. And we need to learn how to appreciate that because it has its purpose. It has its purpose.
We complement each other. We complement each
Complement
other.
each other.
On a lighter note, isn't it fun when a person asks you a yes or no question and it's obviously not a yes or no? Like it's like this is not a yes or no question. You want a
Right.
yes or no question? Ask me a yes or no question, and rarely is that the case.
Right.
But brother Tennessee, obviously, I've not heard your question, so I'm joking when I'm saying this. That's not specifically to you.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yes. That definitely happens. Guys, we have time for one more question if it's a long question. But if it's a short question, we have time for two more questions. So if you want to throw your question into the ring or into the hat or whatever you want to call it, into the chat, we will try to take that last question or two. I was thinking, as they're thinking, Dr. White, as we discussed a little bit earlier, that this is definitely our fourth episode on men, but I would like to on men's mental health, but I would like to do men's mental health as it relates to addiction
Hmm.
moving forward.
Next week, then we'll talk about the neurobiology of addiction. We'll highlight some of the major addictions, whether it's alcohol, sex addiction, um, internet. But then we'll talk about, okay, well, what's the framework for giving the best chance to overcome addiction? So we
Yes.
are happy to focus on addiction from a men's perspective.
Yes.
That'll
So
be next week.
definitely share. I know I see there's just I love this. When I look at the chat, all I'm seeing is men's names. I absolutely love it. Women, you're absolutely wanted here and need to be here because we women, we need to know how to support our men in our life. But definitely share this in your men's group. Tell them, hey guys, you have to be here for next week. This is for everybody. This is for everybody. Yeah, it looks like we don't have another question coming in, but I look forward to next week topic dealing with men's mental health and addiction. So
I
this
got a,
should
I got a
be
question for you.
okay.
So we've been doing this for a while. Was there anything you took and you were like, I'm using that?
From you.
Sure. I mean, or from the exchange, like,
Or
yeah,
from the yeah, no,
yeah.
from you, I used your oh, we have a question. Okay, but I'll answer a question. I've used several things from you. I've used you don't say the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. You've said that a lot of times. There's something else that oh man, it's right there. Maybe we should take this question and I'll remember. There's other things that oh, no, that's a book. I didn't get that from you. Wait. But there's something that you say all the time that I literally use it. It's slipping me right now, but I have taken from you a couple of things. But let's answer Brother Tennessee's follow-up question here. It says, question, as a Black man, should he see a Black psychologist? Because I always thought about seeing someone of a different race, but I think they couldn't relate to me. I will say, I don't think it's definitely not a bad idea. I mean, there's great psychologists and therapists who are of other cultures, but you can definitely find someone within your culture that will relate culturally, that will understand more of the nuances of being a Black man. And I'm gonna let you answer as well, Dr. White. But I can say when I was in the Bay Area doing therapy, I would have, there's tons of therapists in the Bay Area. There's not a ton of Black therapists. I was in South Bay. Wait, South Bay? Yes. And I would have people come from East Bay, which is like the Oakland, that area. And that's, you're driving, you're driving 45 minutes to an hour, probably an hour, depending on traffic. It could be more too. But it's like some people want to be with someone that understands the culture and the things that they face. But there's awesome therapists of all cultures, and so it just depends. I'm sure maybe like if a Chinese person who is just first generation or maybe even second generation, they might want to see a Chinese therapist because a Chinese therapist thoroughly understands their culture. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Dr. White?
Well, thank you, Sister Tante. So the deciding factor in having a quality experience in your therapeutic experience is the therapeutic alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a bond that you get to form with that therapist. That's going to be the deciding factor in you getting the outcome you want. Now, the essence of that bond comes from, are they competent? Are they compassionate? Do you feel like they care and they care
Mm-hmm.
about you? So, and obviously, the more they can understand your context, the better that bond is going to be. So I want to give you those guidelines so that you can then pursue it. So I don't care if the person's from my old neighborhood, right? They get me. They might even be my denomination. But if they don't have the skill set, if they don't have the skill
Mm-hmm.
set to address the issue I need, um, it's gonna fracture the bond. It's the therapeutic alliance is definitely gonna suffer if it's clear to me they can't really help me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but that said, if they can understand me, if they meaningfully respect who I am and what I'm about, and they have the clinical competency as well
Mm-hmm.
as the cultural competency, then yes, there is going to be an advantage to them more effectively helping me with my issues.
Mm-hmm.
And there's research documenting that as therapists, we're not as objective as we think we are.
Mm-hmm.
We come with bias. We have
Mm-hmm.
biases. They've documented that now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we can
Mm-hmm.
safely say it. But more than just does the person look like me, the real question is, can they help me? Do they want to help me, and do they have the skills to help me? So that's how I'd answer that.
Yes. I agree. And I was going to remember. I just had to think about it. I say it all the time, even to my clients, especially if I'm dealing with people pleasing. Learn how to say the beautiful no. I got that from you.
Okay, no, thank you. Well, I'll be more specific. The question I was wondering, is this helping you with Ivor, for example? Like, is this helping you with the men in your life?
Oh,
That's what I was
sorry.
kind of getting at. But no,
I
thank you.
totally missed the question.
I'll take
Um,
that though. Yeah.
yes. No, yeah, I know that. Yes, definitely. I mean, we've been married almost 28 years in August. We were
Wow.
both surprised. I looked at him. I was like, we're going to be celebrating 28 years this August. That just seems like a really long time, which it is a long time. So, but definitely talking about men's issues has definitely, helped me. Really becoming a therapist helped me understand my husband. That's the honest truth. It helped me understand myself. I was talking to another client who's in school to be a therapist, and I was just expressing to her that it's the best decision I ever made, not just for a job, but for me, to make me a better person. and definitely have more empathy and understanding. You know, I don't think he likes me to analyze him as much or to break things down. So I try to make it not sound like that's what I'm doing, but I just understand so much better his even struggles as a man and as a leader too. And it's just, yeah, I would say yes.
Oh, that's dope. That's
Yes,
dope.
for sure. Sorry I didn't understand it first, but at least you got to hear the two things that I used from you.
That's why I didn't want
Yes.
to interrupt you. I was like, yeah, you going ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep saying all the great things I've taught you. But yes, guys, this was fun. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your questions. Please share about our topic for next week. Invite. Um, Women, you are welcome because we need to learn how to support our men and their mental health, the men in our lives. And that can be your sons too, your brothers, your father, not just a husband, but the other men in your life as well. So we
This
look
is for men.
forward.
This is for
Huh?
men, and this is for men and the women who love them.
Yes, absolutely. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. Have a wonderful evening.
Take care.
Bye bye.